Hi there, how's it going? This is Cross the Rubicon channel and today is the 12th of May. Please like this video and share this video. Most importantly, leave a comment and subscribe. I'm going to talk about this today. Hey Pua Pua. The scariest thing you will not read about in the press. Government won't talk about it. The small political parties are terrified of it because they're, well, weak as piss basically. But I am going to talk about it because I'm a citizen journalist and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Hey Pua Pua is the report of the working group on a plan to realise the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Maori are not indigenous to New Zealand. They've only been here 800 years. They came here by boat. It's in their history. But now we've got to say they're indigenous. Hey Pua Pua means a break, which usually refers to a break in the waves. Here, this document, it means breaking of the usual political and society norms and approaches. This is the roadmap to be realised by 2040, the bicentenary of the signing of the Waitangi Treaty, which was in 1840. It will support the realisation of Maori self-determination and give Maori control over Maori destinies. Self-determination will range from full independence at one end of the spectrum to participation in government on the other end. Example, independent Indigenous education systems, healthcare systems, this is all for Maori, just Maori, and judicial systems, just for Maori. Hey Pua Pua will give Maori partnership in any and all government plans. New Zealand, thanks to Jacinda Ardern, will be the first state to embark on this United Nations Declaration. Well, thank you very much, Comrade Jacinda. You're going to turn New Zealand into the Zimbabwe of the South Pacific. Thank you. From me, Cross the Rubicon. Maori and the Crown will be an equal partnership. Maori will exercise authority over Maori matters and shared jurisdictions over their lands, territories and resources, including fresh water. Maori participation in central government will be strong and secure. Maori will have a dominant voice in resource management and decisions. A dominant voice. No, they will have the only voice. God forbid anybody opposes it. Maori will provide for Maori. Iwi Hapu will be enlarged and land will be returned, plus water. Fresh water, the sea, whatever. Crown land will be handed back to Maori. Everything will be handed back to Maori. All New Zealanders, this is a good bit, all New Zealanders will embrace and respect Maori culture as an integral part of our national identity. I'll read that again. All New Zealanders will embrace and respect Maori culture as an integral part of a national identity. Does that sound like bullying to you? It does to me. You will. You will and you will respect us. Aotearoa, their word, will be a nation where Maori will thrive and be prosperous. It will be a genuine partnership and all Maori will enjoy equity of opportunity and of outcomes. So basically, Maori will be preferred. Equity of outcomes. Maori will enjoy. So if you go for a job and there's a Maori with you, you're not going to get the job. It's going to be Maori every single time because it's in the declaration in black and white. They will have to. Maori rights will be significant. It says it all in here. All this is in here. No matter what these left-wing loons are going to make about this video and say, Lee's lying and it's all a conspiracy theory. It's all in here. if you just care to read it. The declaration will need to evolve over time to respond to climate change. Yeah, I don't understand that either. A strong public engagement campaign will be used. What do you think that means? Propaganda. Sustained propaganda. Jacinda likes that one. The government will shape the public conversation. The government will shape the public conversation using the media, i.e. propaganda, to convince the public that this is a good thing and the right thing. Maori will have co-governance in New Zealand, unelected. These are my words. Democracy is only for one half of the population, and that's for non-Maori. The other half will be automatically given it. But Maori only make 14% of the population of New Zealand. 14%. 1-4. Every single one of them is diluted with European blood. Every single one of them. There's not one single full-blooded Maori left today. High-level immediate action for co-governance with equal numbers of government ministers between Maori and non-Maori. 50-50 ministers when they make 14% of the population. This is apartheid. And it's being driven by this government and the United Nations to destroy New Zealand. The government will be supported by a secretariat. Pardon me. Let me just read this again. The government will be supported by a secretariat. Now, I'm old enough to understand secretariat is used by Marxists and communists. Secretariat. That word was used in the Soviet Union, secretariat. Comprised of iwi, appointees, independent advisors, and state officials. State officials. Another Marxist communist term. And will be independent of the existing bureaucracy. It will be led by an Indigenous Rights Commissioner, almost guaranteed to be a Maori and bias. Maori voices will be prioritised in the declaration. I'll say that again. Maori voices will be prioritised in the declaration. You are going to be a second-class citizen in New Zealand. Maori will take charge of fresh water. Te Reo will be compulsory in schools. Train and educate public sector workers in the declaration and Te Reo Maori. Well, what if they say no? They just lose their jobs, won't they? No one's going to be able to defy this. Nobody. Because they will be attacked as racists. Even though this is racist. Partnership bodies across public agencies. The Crown will address structural racism. The Crown will address structural racism. Public education programs that will include conscious and unconscious bias training programs will be provided. So the Crown will address structural racism through 1. Public education programs that will include conscious, and unconscious bias training programs. You know what I'm thinking. Number 2, Maori targeted recruitment. Maori targeted recruitment. So it's going to be Maori first in everything. You will be a second-class citizen. I can't emphasize this enough. And 3, media campaigns to promote this. Basically, the media are going to propagandize this. And they're going to hunt for people like me who say otherwise and call me a far-right white supremacist, even a terrorist. And by 2040, prisons in New Zealand won't exist. They will not exist. So there you have it. Maori apartheid is coming down the line, and the government, the media and academia are already gearing up to attack them, like me, as racists who call this out. This video will be hate speech very soon. Who else is talking about this apart from, as far as I know, 174M and Terry O'Pines, Fonza, Carl, my mate. No one else. No media. No media journalists. And if they do talk about it, it's, oh, isn't it fantastic? Isn't it amazing? Yes, we're going to give everything back to Maori. What can go wrong? These are the journalists we've got in New Zealand, and they actually talk like that too. And they're the men. I don't know how else I can try and convince people in New Zealand to wake up about this. It's no good just calling me a far-right white supremacist. You've got to read the document yourself. It's no good listening to people like these morons who will make videos about this today and say I'm a liar, I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm a racist, I'm whatever. And they will dismiss everything I say, even though all what I've just said is in here. It's right in here. This is the official document. Like I said, Maori make up 14%, 14% of the population, and they're going to be given half the power. And this has been driven by the United Nations, embraced wholeheartedly by Comrade Jacinda Ardern, who is a Marxist, I believe probably a communist. And she is doing this to get the big job in the United Nations when she's destroyed this nation, when she leaves this country in flames. She doesn't care. The media are bought with your money. Taxpayers' money is funding the media, state media, Pravda now. And they will attack anybody, like me, like others, who will offer an alternative opinion. The problem in New Zealand is that you've never really suffered, you've never struggled. You've been so insular for such a long time, you think the government are incapable of lying to you, the media are incapable of lying to you. Well, I've got news for you. They are lying to you. And they're completely reliant on your apathy and ignorance and trust to smash your country. If you've got children, if you've got grandchildren, they're not going to thank you for this, for not doing anything. They will not thank you. In 10 years' time, 20 years' time, people will try to leave New Zealand and they won't be able to leave. They'll be stopped at the government. They will be blocked. And if they do manage to leave, and they sell up what they own, their homes, everything, the government will take 90%, possibly more, of what they're going to leave with and keep that money inside New Zealand. And iwi will get that money. Iwi, these super troffers. Marxism, communism is coming right here. New Zealand is the guinea pig of the world right now. And most of you out there don't believe it. You think I'm talking bullshit. You better wake up, and wake up quick. Thank you for watching this video. Share it everywhere. Look into FONZA, F-O-N-N-Z-A. It's our political movement. Because let's face it, these little parties, pipsqueaks, mealy-mouthed, terrified of offending. They don't want to draw off. They talk about this kind of stuff. They'll think we're racist. Oh, we can't talk about that. It's racist. They've convinced themselves that they're racist if they talk about it. They won't entertain me or Carl Bromley, 174M, because they think we're far-right white supremacists, because we do address this issue. Look into FONZA. Look into myself and Carl Bromley. We are going to be arranging a meeting soon enough in Christchurch to start off with. And we want you to come along and listen to what we've got to say. Because guess what? No one else is saying it. We are completely independent. We have no agenda. Our only agenda is probably to set up a political party at the end of this. But we will not be doing deals with criminals, liars and corrupt politicians. We will tell the United Nations to bugger off, World Health Organization to bugger off, and so many other organizations to bugger off. Keep out of our affairs. Okay, please share, subscribe, look into FONZA, and share Carl's FONZA stuff about. I'll make a video, maybe later, about FONZA. I'll tell you more about FONZA. Watch out for that video. See you later. Bye.